Hey lady, imagine 6 months from now. Where are you? How are you spending your days? Who do you talk to? What are your mornings, afternoons, and evenings like? And the most important question, how are you feeling most of the time? In today's video, I want to get in touch with that part of you that feels at ease and wants to do really good in every area of her life and has found her mojo back. And in this video today, it's part one of part two, which is all about getting organized. If you're new to this channel, my name is Supriya. I'm a self-mastery coach for women in leadership and entrepreneurship. And here I share with you how to lose self-doubt and replace it with high-vibing strategies to lead with confidence and ease. Now, in this video, I'm going to share with you a story from a client consult that I had last week, and just to share with you what can look like a good way to approach life as it is now, to be able to create that picture perfect life for yourself in 6 months time. Does that sound good? Amazing. So now that we want that 6-month version of ourselves, I want to share with you what we've got happening. In 2 weeks time, I'm hosting a live webinar on goal setting. Goal setting, the way we're going to do it in this webinar, is not to go through what you need to get done right away and setting time frames and measurable goals. That comes at the second phase, but the first phase is actually getting to know what it is that you should be working on first. So if that is of interest to you, also if you'd like to have a vision for yourself for the next 6 months, then this is the webinar for you, and I'll be hosting it live, which means that you get access to me while I'm on the call. And yeah, jump online via the link in the description box below. I look forward to having you there. Now, today's topic is all about being organized. One of the biggest challenges that some of my clients, and they're very high performing clients as well, because they're in leadership position and they have a business they're running, or they're aspiring to open a business. So these are, challenging endeavors. So you've got to know that one of the biggest skills that you've got to have is organization. Now, you might say, yeah, of course, Supriya, but I struggle with that a lot. And that's why I'm here to share this story today about what we talked about with our clients this week. And I really wanted to come on here and share that with you too, because I know there are many of you that are struggling to do the same. So one of the things that I found on my journey is my ability to say no was really low. My ability to say no to exciting things was really low, and I really wanted to do everything that really was aligned to me. And there are a lot of things that are probably really aligned to you as well. However, no is a word that you must learn to say, especially when you are destined to finish certain things. And just because you can't do it now doesn't mean you can't do it later. So that's what this chat is all about, is being able to see that, you might have to say no to certain things, and that needs to come from a place of understanding yourself a little bit better, to be able to go, what I'm saying no to right now is just temporary. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to have this opportunity come again. However, I am going to say yes to things that really matter to me right now, and I'm going to see to it that I finish. And that's going to actually give you more self-confidence. That's going to give you more self-trust. And that is a key factor in you winning in business and leading your troops into succeeding. Right? You need ease and confidence, and that can only come from trusting yourself to be doing the right things right at the right time. It happens to be one of those rites of passages that every woman goes through to be able to come into her own. So this is a story of that one of my clients that I saw this week. So a little bit of background about her is she is a person that's just bought her own new home. She's moved into it. She's also started studying a discipline that's very close to her heart. And she's really happy with her full-time job, which takes up most of her lifetime. So that means 80% of her time is spent there. And then she's also got a lifestyle that she loves living, which is, she likes to get up in the morning, do her meditation and yoga, and then she likes to do her evening rituals, and she doesn't like spending time in front of screens in the evening. So one of her biggest challenges has been to actually prioritize and, get her study done on time, and also start to set her home up. So why that challenge exists is because her time is not currently permitting her to do those extra things that she's taken on, and she's been feeling like she's a failure. Who here in this video are you resonating on this? I know for me, this is one of the biggest reasons why I used to have a very hard time saying no, declining jobs, declining opportunities, and the list goes on and on. And so this is what's happening to her at the moment. And so this is what we had to get clear about, that, what's really important to her is that she realizes that perfection that she's looking for, where she has a vision that, she's sitting down and she's sipping on her green tea and reading and studying every day. And she hasn't started doing it. It's a 12-week course, and she's at week 4 right now, and so she's already feeling like a big failure. And then when we dug a little bit deeper, what we realized is that she actually didn't know how to organize herself. And I've seen this happen with many other clients. So as a coach, what I can't do and I don't do is I don't assume that people have skills, and I don't ever take it for granted that, they have this common understanding of what needs to happen before they experience a problem or share a problem with me. So we dig deep. We dig deeper than what the surface is showing. So that's what we did. When we did that, what we realized was that currently she's understanding this study to be this thing that she did when she was in high school and uni. And in high school and uni, what she used to do is just that, study. So her life was all about study or having fun with friends. There was nothing in between. But right now, as an adult, she has her life. She's got her life. She's got her work. Now she's taken up study, and she's taken up, decorating her home, her world. And she's set beautiful goals to achieve in the next 6 months that will give her that self-confidence and that sense of coming into her own and feeling beautiful from the inside out. So to achieve that, she has to really overcome this barrier that she has to getting things started. So when we dug a little bit deeper, that's what we found, and so that's what we had to process. So thinking about this story, what's coming up for you now? Do you think that there are certain extra things that are in your life that you're not getting started on because you've got this idea of a perfect way to do it? So that's what my client was doing, is that she had this perfect world scenario in her mind, but at the same time she had a conflict, she said, Supriya, but what I don't want to do is sacrifice my morning ritual or my evening ritual, and I just don't want to do that. And I don't want to rush myself to buy house stuff because I need them. I really want to take my time to make decisions that are aligned to my values. So right there is the biggest difference between someone that's on autopilot to someone that is wanting to design their life consciously. And that is leadership 101, which is, conscious decisions behind our actions and how to make that happen. So in this, conversation that we were having, what we decided is to see that right now, nothing's getting done, isn't it? So she's 4 weeks behind with her studies. She's feeling like a failure, and that's making her procrastinate on, going shopping for her house, etc., etc. And therefore, what was becoming more and more apparent is that she's just becoming a ball of stress and a ball of disappointment toward herself, and that's not letting her move forward. She's just doing the bare minimum, and she's just feeling like, whoa, this is just not happening. So what I shared with her was this insight about what successful people do. So a couple of things that I shared with her about what people that were successful did differently versus people that were not successful. Successful people don't do 100% in one day. Successful people do 1% every day. And what they also found out about successful people is that they model excellence, not perfection. And what that can look like for my client's situation or in any situation is this perfect idea of a perfect world and a perfect way to do things, which stops us from taking action, is how successful people deal with it is by showing up anyway, right? So what this might look like is, so for this client, what she needed to do, her weekly benchmark when we worked it out was that she needed to get 10 hours of study done in a week. So what we ended up doing was looking at, well, what's a weekly milestone then that she has to reach, right? And how can she make up some of the more, like the bigger chunks of hours on the weekends, because that's when she's free. So we broke it up into a daily commitment rather than a weekly commitment. She shared that, Supriya, one of the biggest reasons why I haven't started as well is that I get so tired by the end of the day. I don't like opening the computer after spending a whole day at work in front of the computer. I'm really careful about my eyes. So the only time she has is in the morning, right? That's about a half an hour that she has in quiet. So if that's the only time available, I said to her that that's the time that is excellence. Instead of not doing it at all and looking for that perfect 1 hour, 2 hour stretch and blocks of time, just start with half an hour. And on days that she can fit in more, hey, that's a plus point. But if you don't start at all, then you're not modeling excellence. And if you don't show up at all, you're not modeling excellence. You're looking for perfection, which you're never going to achieve. So successful people, what they do best is if they have a goal of exercising every day. So what a successful person might do on a day that they're having a really bad day, they don't have that energy, what they will do is they'll still put on their joggers and they'll march on the spot. That's how modeling excellence can look on a bad day. And the same thing can be transferred into, workplace or business, right? So you are allowed to have bad days. You are allowed to have, days that you're just not up to it. But that doesn't mean you drop your whole plan. You can still show up and do as much as you can if you have that attitude. So allow yourself to contemplate on that and see what comes up for you, and please share it in the comments below. This is a skill that you build over time, right? So you must be willing to, as an adult, to see your life as your life that needs you to show up in so many ways. And that perfection that you're looking for is actually something that is an unachievable, goal, because you can't be at different places equally, because some things have to be prioritized over other things. And so in this story, when I shared with my client that, hey, person X, can you see that you don't actually have to get all 10 hours done in one day? Like, she was going to have to sacrifice her whole Saturday to be able to meet those requirements. But I shared with her, because you haven't started yet, and the college actually shared with you that they need you to do 10 hours of study minimum. We don't know how long it'll take for you. It might take you longer than 10 hours to cover that weekly benchmark, or it might take you shorter. It might take you less. Consider that. But if you don't get started, then you'll never know. You might take less time on certain weeks, and you might take more time on certain other weeks. But you must make a commitment to do 1% every day, so that you can still be present in all other areas of your life while you do this as well. And also, on some days, it may just be that you open the books and the concept is so hard and your brain is just not computing it. You're just like frozen. And that might be one of those days. And you still would show up. And that is modeling excellence. And that will also teach you something. Allowing yourself to be living what you're wanting to live is what goal attainment is all about. So that 6-month version of yourself is not just going to happen by setting goals. It's also going to happen through you getting involved in the process. And the process looks like zigzag, up, down. It's not like, well, Supriya just did up a plan, like helped me make up a plan, and I'm going to have a smooth run and it's going to look like this. It's actually very zigzag, up, down, and that is the growth process that we go through, and that is a delightful process. I love that process of change. I love getting messy. And I love seeing my clients do that journey and then come across the other end feeling like, shit, I've changed. And I'm so glad that I showed up. I'm so glad that, I showed up anyway, and I saw myself through my worst times. So, my friend, I hope this story added some value to your life today. And to take the next step on your journey is actually learning how to set correct goals for yourself and knowing what to focus on, like to what degree. And that's the formula I'm going to share with you at this webinar. Please come to the webinar live to get the max value out of it. There will be no replays given to people that are on the outside. You just have to show up, get the workbook, and do the work while we share space and time together. I look forward to hearing from you. I hope this story helped you on your journey today, and I look forward to sharing part 2 with you next week, which will be all about how to say no. Take care. See you next week.